Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. It's so good to have you here with me today. For my returning viewers, welcome back, and for new viewers, welcome. I'm glad that you found me here. Today's reading will be a mid-monthly reading focusing on the energies surrounding us over the next couple of weeks, so from the midpoint in April through the end of the month, focusing specifically on the areas of career and finance and love and relationships. For the love and relationships portion of the reading, I'll be using the Wheel of the Year Tarot and the Life Purpose Oracle card deck. And for the romance relationships part of the reading, I'll use the Gilded Tarot and the Romance Angels Oracle cards. Like I usually say at the beginning of the videos, these are general, right? The messages may or may not resonate with you. I would suggest that in addition to watching your sun sign video, you also take a look at your moon and rising signs, because usually, watching all three together, they'll give you a better idea of what is actually coming up over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, if you would like a more personalized reading, looking at you, what's going on in your life right now, you would need to get a private reading from me. If you're interested, you could take a look at my site, changingphasestarot.weebly.com. There you'll find information about the types of readings that I offer, as well as pricing for those readings. Or you could email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. A couple of quick announcements. We do have so this reading covers from the midpoint in the month through the end of the month. We have a new moon happening on the 15th of April. That's also when Mercury retrograde ends, which is good. I've had a lot of technical issues over this past couple of weeks, so definitely a Mercury retrograde. And the next full moon will be coming up on the 29th, 30th of the month, right? So the end of April. It will be a full moon in Scorpio. It will be a pink moon, and be looking out for the special reading that I always put out when it's the full moon. I put out a special full moon spread, and also do a new giveaway to win a free one question tarot card reading with me. So be looking out for that. Right, I will stop for now, and we'll see you in 1 second for your reading. Hi Virgo, hope you're doing well. I'm here to get into your reading. As you can see, I have already shuffled off camera and have laid out the spread. So we'll start off with the career and finance portion of your reading, okay? And again, this is for mid-month April 2018. You have, sitting in the past position, the Ten of Swords. I did pull clarifiers on this one, so I'll show you those in 1 second. In the present position, Major Arcana number 1, the Magician. And in the future or outbound position, we have the Eight of Chalices. And the card that was at the bottom of the deck, so the overall energy for the last 2 weeks of the month in the area of career and finances, you have the Ace of Swords. And the Oracle card from the Life Purpose Oracle card deck is Travel. Your life purpose involves travel. All right, so let's start off here with this Ten of Swords, okay? So you have 1 Cups, 2 Swords, and 1 Major Arcana card in this 4-card spread here. So the Suit of Swords deals with our thoughts, our intellect, deals with our minds, right? It's cerebral energy. It's also how we communicate with others. And usually the Ten of Swords is a card that speaks of it's the lowest point in a situation. A lot of people, they don't like seeing the Ten of Swords because it's a card that speaks of possibly betrayal, feeling as though somebody has stabbed you in the back, feeling very down about that situation. But it is the lowest point that you can that you can have with the situation. So obviously, after this, the 10s are endings in the tarot, right? 10 speak of endings, and endings that herald in or bring in new beginnings. And we do have that because you have the the Ace of Swords is the overall energy. So, I see this Ten of Swords is more of an ending card that has to occur in order for this new beginning to come in. Yes, it can speak of feeling some type of sadness, feeling some type of, despair, or even, sort of not knowing, how to proceed from here. But many times when we're at this sort of rock bottom, things do seem very difficult. But look, this sits in the past position, so there could be something. If we're looking at finances, excuse me, this could be something within the area of your finances that, maybe you have been experiencing a difficult financial situation. Maybe things, have seemed very, very difficult, seemed as though, they couldn't possibly get any worse. Things were just not going, kind of everything going against, the way that you really wanted them to go. If this is in your career sector, this could be just, feeling very, very down, right? Feeling as though very bleak. There was no sort of hope in sight with regards to your job. Maybe that you didn't see any promotion on the horizon, or you didn't really see, maybe that you're not getting paid the money that you really need to get paid. And so it's kind of like not being able to see any, anything good or any bright side to the situation, right? But again, we have to have this ending in order to give way to change, in order to give way to new beginnings, right? And this is just in our thoughts. Remember, this is the Ten of Swords, so this is in your mind. It's not, yes, things might have been a little difficult for you, but it's, it is in your mind, and we can change our way of thinking. We can change, our attitude towards something, and this isn't sort of set in stone. This is really more about a way of thinking. And I did pull clarifiers on this Ten of Swords, and I really did, kind of, when I pulled the card, I got, this was the energy that I was getting off of it, even though it is a difficult energy, right? The Ten of Swords, the clarifiers that came out is another ace, so Ace of Chalices or Ace of Cups, the Empress, Major Arcana number 3, and Major Arcana number 6, the Lovers, okay? Which, it just sort of reaffirms what when I laid the spread, what I was originally getting off of the cards as a whole, which is, there's, in order to allow for new things to come into your life, you first need to, allow this ending, even if it is a painful ending, to end, right? To move on, you need to have this ending, because you have this beautiful new beginning coming in. And then the Empress is all about expansion. It's expansive opportunities. Sometimes the Empress has to do with giving birth to new ideas, giving birth to new projects, so new things coming in. And then we have the Lovers, which, yes, in a love relationship, obviously this can, it can speak of that soulmate connection, but it also has to do with decisions, choices, right? Making a either head or heart decision. You're being faced with a decision. It has to do with this new beginning, manifesting this new beginning. And you do have the Magician, which is all about manifestation. So, what I'm getting here is that there's an ending, but it's a necessary ending, right? And it's heralding in new beginnings, because sitting here in the middle of the spread is the Magician, and the Magician is an extremely powerful card. This is a card that, it's all about you having all of the necessary tools within your grasp. Look here, it's sort of as above, so below, right? You see that she's looking up to the universe, so looking to partner up with the universe, harnessing this energy of the universe. But she also has within her grasp on the table just the four, the four elements here. So she has everything she needs to manifest what it is in her life at this time. So whatever this, the new beginning, and we do have as the overall energy this Ace of Swords, which is all about new beginnings, right? Aces are new beginnings in the tarot, and they're divinely blessed, they're divinely guided new beginnings. They're also yes cards. So if there's something that you've been, waiting for an answer on, the Ace of Swords comes in to say, yes, this is, you'll be getting the clarity. It's also a card that speaks of clarity, right? And if something has seemed a little confusing, or something along those lines, this is a card that it's really going to provide you with that clarity, the clarity of mind that you need to, make this decision, to move ahead with this new project. And, it's divinely blessed. I mean, this is blessed energy. And it also, it encourages you, to use your intellect. Instead of feeling like with this Ten of Swords card, instead of feeling trapped in some way, or at the lowest point, just use your intellect, but to your benefit, right? In a just manner, in a righteous manner. There will be victory. Sometimes this speaks of having a new point of view, having new inspiration, right? Definitely speaks of new beginnings, right? With this Ace card. And it comes after the Ten of Swords, right? Endings and new beginnings. And then what you have sitting in the outbound position is the Eight of Cups. And the Suit of Cups, it deals with our emotions, our feelings, relationships. And this particular card, the Eight of Cups, it talks about leaving behind, again, abandoning the old in search of change, in search of something new. And even though, you can see that she looks sad, right? There's the person, actually, in this deck it's portrayed a little differently. Usually in most, or in the traditional tarot deck, the Eight of Cups or chalices has the person, actually turning their back and walking away from the situation, because that situation, or, whatever this might be, we're looking at finances, we're looking at career. If this is a job that, no longer brings you that emotional fulfillment, that happiness that it once did, it's that person walking away, turning their back and walking away. And yes, there's always a sense of sadness at leaving behind, whatever this old way of doing things or the old job. There's always a, sort of sense of sadness at leaving that behind. But the person is also very focused and very excited about the promise that this new thing, this new change, this new opportunity can bring in. And this is also, it's a card of transition. It's about transitioning, out of something that that no longer serves you anymore, that no longer fulfills you emotionally, and moving on to something that will bring you that happiness. So it is a transition card. And interesting, because we did have travel that came out as the life purpose card for you, right? And let me take a look at let me find the travel card here. I like to give the full meaning for the oracle cards. So we have travel. This card says, you drew this card as validation of what you already knew, that your life's work involves traveling. You may be called to be of service in faraway places, or it could be that a life-changing travel experience will give you breakthrough information about your divine purpose. Like a traveling minstrel, you bring blessings wherever you go. This card also speaks to movement in your life, with adventurous and life-enhancing changes occurring for you now and in the immediate future. By letting go of the old, that's exactly what we were talking about, and stepping into these changes, you gain the sense of meaning and fulfillment that you've desired. The former stagnation is replaced with a passion for new projects and relationships. A third meaning of this card is that your life purpose involves technology, especially with respect to computers and telecommunication. This could signal telecommuting, where you work from home via computer, or it could literally mean that your work involves computer programming, sales, and such. So 3, slightly different meanings, interpretations for this travel card, but I think the main meaning here is, that's coming through most strongly, tying it in with the other cards that you have, is the one that speaks of letting go of the old and stepping into the, this new and the new changes. And you have that, right? We have the letting go of the old right here. We have you manifesting all these new changes here. We have this new beginnings and success with the Ace of Swords. And you have to let go, even though it can be, painful at times. It can be difficult. This needs to go, right? This Ten of Swords, whatever, if this is a job, this job no longer serves you. You're no longer feeling satisfied in that job. You want to give birth to new projects, new ideas, new things. You have two new beginnings and victory cards. There is definitely, could be a choice within this decision that has to do with, you sort of going with your head and heart. This could be, whether to, I'm giving examples, but, whether to start up or start working on your own or doing something like it was talking about this travel, the telecommuting, or going after a more traditional job, or this could be this actual, since this does speak, it does lie in the past position here as a clarifier. This could have been, this head or heart decision, you really wanting to, move out of this Ten of Swords energy, and then you coming to this manifestation position where you are in control of where you're heading, and this involves, possibly leaving something in the past here. And this could also have to do with leaving in the past financial concerns, right? If you have been experiencing financial difficulties, this is, you are now manifesting, and by manifesting, I mean, it has to do with intention and setting your intentions, right? And we're actually at the new moon. We have the new moon coming up. It might be a good time for you to think about what is it that you really want. Set your intentions. You have everything within your power here, within your grasp to achieve those things. So, and obviously any new beginning involves, a walking away of something else, right? Letting go of a certain way of thinking, leaving behind a job that no longer serves you, but just trust in these new beginnings, right? Could possibly have to do with this travel card, could involve travel in some way, could have to do with something to do with commuting or at a distance from you. But it's, it's divinely blessed, and this new beginning is definitely going to bring you to a place where you're going to experience more financial and emotional fulfillment, right? Happiness. So yes, it started out when I first drew the card. It sort of started out like oh my gosh, what is this? But as I worked through the remaining cards, I definitely get this. It's this very sort of upbeat, very, even though there's a sense of sadness with this Eight of Chalices, I do get this upbeat. Like finally, I'm able to manifest, and I'm doing it, and finally, I keep getting the word finally come to mind when I'm looking at the spread here. So interesting. All right, let's move on to your love and relationships. Okay, so we have, let me show you the cards and then we'll go through the reading. In the past position, the Two of Cups. In the present position, the Four of Wands. And the outbound energy, the future position, the Three of Cups. Now, for a love and romance reading, these are beautiful cards. And then the card that was at the bottom of the deck, please don't freak out. I feel like for your reading this mid-month, I'm kind of, warning you. You have at the bottom of the deck, the Tower. Now, this is Major Arcana number 16. Again, most people do not like seeing this card in a reading. I'll explain, why I don't agree always with, that the Tower is just terrible and, it's a bad card. And I did pull clarifiers. So I'll go ahead and show you the clarifiers that came on the Tower. We have the Six of Swords, the Nine of Cups, and major arcana, the Star card. So it's interesting because, for both readings, there's something that has to do with, needing to move away, leave something behind, leave something in the past. And then there's, so many positive things that you have in the spread, but there is this message coming through that, there's something that has to be left behind, right? So let me start off with the Tower. The Tower card is, it speaks of a very unexpected event, right? That's kind of the main meaning for the card. You can see, and depending on the deck, the Tower can look scarier than others. In this particular deck, you can see there's, the man, lightning striking the Tower, the man falling out of the tower. He's also naked, right? Which sort of makes you think that it happened, in the middle of the night, completely unexpected, didn't even have time to, put on clothes and think of how, that he's having to deal with the situation while being completely unprepared. It's that type of energy, right? But again, the Tower speaks of is things that are really out of your control. So, sometimes things come in just to really shake things up, right? That are completely out of your control. And there's really nothing that you can do, right? Except really control how you react to this unexpected event. So it really, I see it more as being how you adapt, how you react, how you sort of face this unexpected event or situation, thing that happens in your life. Because just like when lightning strikes, you have no control over when lightning is going to strike. It doesn't matter how much you stand there and sort of look up at the sky and yell, "Don't strike here." It's going to strike regardless. So it's out of your control, right? But when the Tower comes in, it really is about, it gives us a chance to rebuild, right? So it much like with the Wheel of Fortune, when the Wheel of Fortune comes in, it's a card of change, and possibly you've been on the downswing, now you're on the upswing, so there's change involved, but it's how we face that new change, right? Much like the Death card. The Death card in the Tarot is also a card that speaks of, a significant ending, but it's a new beginning, it's a change. So it's all about having the courage, to really face the situation, remain calm, right? And it's all about perspective, how you deal with this Tower situation. And so the three cards that came out, right? The Six of Swords is a card that speaks of movement. It's a transition card, right? The two transition cards really in the Tarot, as far as moving away from something to something better, we have the Six of Swords and the Eight of Chalices, and both of them appear even in separate readings here, but they both appear. So it does speak of, moving away, but it's swords energy again, right? So thoughts, intellect, but leaving behind, sort of leaving the choppy waters, heading towards calmer waters. And this sits in the past. The Nine of Cups speaks of, well, actually, that's fun. I just noticed that. So the Nine of Cups is the minor arcana version of the Star card. And you have both of them here, right? So it's all about wishes being fulfilled, wishes coming true, wish upon a star, keeping a positive outlook on things, right? Setting your intentions again, putting those wishes out, those intentions out into the universe, and then having the faith, having the belief, trusting in the universe, trusting in the fact that, things will sort of come out the way that you had hoped. And so, again, I get this, even though this is the overall energy, I get that this is more, something that you've been through, you've wished for something else, you've really maintained, you've left something in the past, moved on to calmer waters, you've wished for something, and we are looking at relationships here. So possibly you were wishing for this relationship that would bring you more, emotional, stability and fulfillment and balance, which is what's coming in your reading here, because you have, the Two of Cups and the Three of Cups in the reading. Well, the Two of Cups is the minor arcana version of the Lover's card, right, from the major arcana. So it's the soulmate card. It's all about that very deep soul connection with another individual. It's about seeing yourself in the other individual, right? Because soulmates, it's us sort of seeing ourselves in the other person, which is a very beautiful card, right? So it's, it's in the past position. This could have been you meeting this person, right? Or having the opportunity to partner up with somebody. Whether this is, we are looking more at relationships, romance. So, possibly meeting somebody, right? There's this potential for creating something very special, right? With this person, a deep, loving relationship with that person. And then in the present, you have this beautiful, look at the family here. The Four of Wands, it's a very stable energy. Fours are stable energy in the Tarot. And this is the happy home, right? It's the happy home and family card. So this is sitting in the center. So this could have something to do with moving home, moving in with the other person. Since this does sit in the past position, this could have, obviously already happened, brought you to this moment where, you're actually considering moving in together, right? You're considering possibly starting a family together. For some of you, that could be marriage in the cards. This could be you talking about getting married. And we see, everything on the card sort of speaks of springtime. We have the little bunnies here. We have all the flowers. So there could be something happening during the spring, right? Some movement to move in together, taking things to the next level. And then we have, as the outbound energy, the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is, it's a card of celebration. It's a card that speaks of, and this can be just, as simple as celebrating, the joys of life, just being, being in the moment, being happy with what's going on in your life right now. It could have to do with celebrating with other people. This could be, as simple as meeting up with friends, family, having a gathering where you're all just enjoying each other's company. But, it can also have a more significant meaning of celebrating something such as, news of something, news of an engagement, news of a wedding, news of a pregnancy, news of a birth. So there's also this, sort of more significant meaning to it. And especially after the two cards here, that could very well be celebrations coming up, right? Celebrating this, either an engagement or a wedding or moving in or a new home, or for others, this could be news of a pregnancy, right? News of the birth of a child. If this isn't, you for you, then this could be people around you, right? Close friends, close family, news of this coming in. But, very beautiful messages here of taking things to the next level, right? This soulmate connection that you have with another individual, this very loving, open connection. It's taking things, right, to moving things up, moving in together, getting engaged, getting married, and in celebration of this, right? So again, I go back to the Tower card as the overall energy. This could all be coming about quite quickly, quite unexpectedly, right? Maybe the moving in together, or the marriage proposal, or, the marriage. Maybe you weren't planning on things moving forward this quickly. So maybe it did catch you kind of, unawares. It was quite unexpected, which is why you have the Tower card. But again, it's all about perspective. It's about keeping a positive attitude, right? It's about having your wishes come true, leaving this whatever this, the choppy waters, or leave it in the past. And it could even have to do with, past relationships, right? Healing from the past relationships, leaving that in the past, trusting in this new relationship, trusting in this new soulmate connection, that it is, you can have your wishes come true here. you can trust in it. You can, keep this positive outlook. Things aren't, if you have had difficult relationships in the past, it doesn't mean that, now all of your relationships are sort of doomed to also have, or to also end the same way. No, leave that, leave that thinking in the past. You have beautiful cards here, right? There could be some healing involved, because the Star card also speaks of healing, right? And in addition to wish fulfillment, in addition to balance and, and maintaining an optimistic outlook, it also has to do with healing. So it's interesting because you do have a healing card here as the Romance Angels card. It says healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So there could be some healing involved for some of you. Let me read you. I like to read the full description from the guidebook for this. Let me just find it here. Healing family issues. This one says, the answers to your prayers about your love life are based in your feelings about your mother and father. The Romance Angels see that you'd benefit from releasing old anger toward one or both of them. That's because your feelings about your parents influence your choice of romantic partner and the way in which you deal with relationships. You can ask the angels to help you put forgiveness into action. To forgive someone doesn't mean that you're endorsing his or her behavior. The angels will tell you, rather, that doing so is a form of deep emotional detoxification. It means I'm no longer willing to carry toxic energy within my mind and body. When you find inner peace with your parents, you'll no longer need to attract unhealthy relationship patterns and partners as a way of healing family emotional wounds. All of your relationships, especially the one you have with yourself, will benefit. So interesting, very interesting messages that you have for the next couple of weeks. I do hope that they have helped you in some way, Virgo. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch and stay with me, right? I look forward to reading for you again, and just know that I'm sending you all much peace, love, and light for a wonderful rest of April. Bye for now.